Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Holly and this is a special one. Ryan and I are off on a mum and dad getaway because let's be honest, we all need a little break sometimes. In this video, we're reviewing the luxurious Pullman Bunker Bay Resort in Western Australia, a 5-star coastal escape that promises romance, relaxation and a touch of indulgence. It is located 3 hours drive to the south of Perth. We stayed here for 2 nights in April. But is it really worth the price? Let's dive in. So why did we choose to stay here? Well, I have been wanting to stay here for a really long time. We absolutely love all the beaches around this area and always love any resort right on the beach with a beautiful infinity edge pool and delicious buffet breakfast. We are celebrating our wedding anniversary, so thought it was the perfect excuse to book in a luxury romantic retreat to reconnect, unwind and celebrate a little couple time away from the busyness of family life. Welcome to our room, let's take a look around. We stayed in a studio villa and it was lovely and very spacious. There were 2 TVs and a lovely plush king-sized bed. In this cupboard there was a safe, switches and an iron, and the other side was hanging space for clothes. This is the bathroom. It was very spacious. There were 2 robes provided for us, which were nice and soft and fluffy, and we enjoyed every morning as it was quite cold. I enjoyed having a nice bubble bath one night in the big bath. There was a huge shower and a toilet and vanity. Over here was the living room and the door that opened out to the outdoor space, which was peaceful and relatively private with beautiful native bushland all around. It was lovely sitting out here in the morning with a coffee. Regarding the privacy, you could see glimpses of people through the trees, so I wouldn't recommend sitting out here naked. Also, people in the room next to you were only a couple of meters away, so if you were sitting out here at the same time as them, it wouldn't feel very private at all and would feel a bit awkward. The kitchenette was small but practical, perfect for a simple meal when you don't feel like heading out. I liked that there was a dishwasher, a decent sized fridge, a microwave and an espresso coffee machine. Time to talk about positives of this accommodation. There are so many positives about this place. First, the location. Your villa is only a couple of minutes walk away from Bunker Bay Beach, one of the most pristine, quiet beaches in WA. You can walk to Bunker Bay Beach on a lovely boardwalk which goes across the lake and even has a shower and lighting, which is handy if you are coming back in the evening after watching the sunset. The Infinity Edge pool is really beautiful the way it overlooks bushland and the ocean. We had a few lovely swims in here. The breakfast buffet was absolutely fantastic. We both thought it was one of the best buffet breakfasts we had ever had anywhere. There was absolutely every type of breakfast food you could think of, apart from an Asian style breakfast section like they have at some hotels such as the Crown Towers, Perth. There was the hot food station, which is always my favourite part of a buffet. There was the sweet breakfast foods like pancakes, waffles, cereal, toast, bircher muesli, fruit and even chia pudding, which I have never seen at a buffet before. There were also lots of delicious looking sweet treats which changed every day. I know my kids would have loved trying lots of these if they had been here. Each day there was a different flavour panna cotta and they were really delicious. I feel inspired to cook panna cotta next time I have people over for dinner. Probably my favourite part of the buffet was the make your own fresh juice station. So delicious. Our favourite combo was apple, watermelon and pineapple. I also loved that there was a gluten-free station with bread and sweet treats, so I didn't feel like I was missing out on the sweet foods like I usually do at buffets. In terms of seating, you could sit inside or outside. We sat outside on the first day, and it was a very picturesque setting, but due to facing directly west, the sun was directly shining in our eyes as it rose. So Ryan had to go back to our rooms to get our hats and sunnies as it was so unbearably bright. The second day, we sat inside, which was really comfortable too, and nice to not have the intense sun shining right into our eyes. Now, while it's a gorgeous spot, there are a few things to note. The villas, while lovely, are starting to show a bit of wear and tear and just look dated, especially some of the flooring and cabinetry. The poolside toilet also could desperately do with a renovation. It definitely didn't look like a 5-star poolside toilet. Speaking of the pool, it was really cold, which was a shame. It was supposed to be heated, but maybe they had the heating turned off over summer and haven't turned it back on yet, even though it was the middle of autumn when we visited, so it would have been nice to have it turned back on. We also found the service to be pretty poor. Whenever we tried calling reception or the restaurant to make a booking, no one ever answered the phone. Then if we walked over and tried to make a booking in person, no one ever seemed to be at the desk. And then when we actually went to the restaurant for dinner, we managed to get a table, but we were just completely ignored for 20 minutes. No one offered us a menu or food or a drink or anything, and we observed someone else in a similar position ask if they could order their food, and the waiter said sure and then disappeared and never came back, so they had to go inside and try to find someone to order from. By this point I was starving, so we just decided to leave, so we just walked away from the restaurant and had a microwave tuna rice meal in our room that night, so that was a bit disappointing. The next thing I want to mention is that at night time it's quite difficult and confusing getting around the resort. It's very spread out, it's hilly, and it's really poorly lit. So this probably would not be a safe place to bring a very elderly person. It would be quite dangerous for them walking around in the dark. And we even got lost. It would have been really helpful if they had some bright floodlights. The last negative thing I want to point out about the accommodation here is the villas are really lacking in privacy. Most of the one-bedroom villas like we stayed in are completely joined to a 2-bedroom villa. It's basically like the one house, and a door 60 centimetres away from your bed is just locked. So there's other people on the other side of that door, basically in the next room, and you can really hear each other. So it's quite awkward and lacking in privacy. So is it worth the money? We paid $900 for 2 nights here, and that price included our amazing buffet breakfast for both days. So is Pullman Bunker Bay worth the price? For us, yes. I think it's one of the nicest places to stay in the area, despite all my critiques earlier. The amazing location and incredible buffet breakfast made up for any negatives in our opinion. We would love to come back next year, as you can never run out of amazing things to do in this beautiful part of the world. That brings me to the last section of this review video, which is where I'll share very briefly what we got up to during our stay in Dunsborough. On day 1 of our getaway, we left home at 10 a.m. and drove straight to Bay Brewing Co for lunch. It was so good to finally come here, as it's a very popular spot down south, and I had somehow never actually been here. It had a really beautiful indoor-outdoor connection and a lovely outlook over the farmlands and a glimpse of the ocean too. It looks like a great spot to bring kids. Doesn't this playground look fantastic? We will definitely be back with our kids soon. Our food was really delicious. I had the fish and chips and Ryan had the cheeseburger. We then checked in at the hotel as check-in time was 3. We relaxed in our room for a little bit and then went to check out the pool. You really do need to use your map to get around, as everything is very spread out and we kept getting lost trying to just wing it. It was too cold for us to swim, so we went for a walk along Bunker Bay Beach, which was really beautiful. It was a stunning evening. It was so calm and peaceful. After sunset, we headed back to our room to head out to dinner at the resort restaurant. But as I said previously, we experienced terrible customer service and were essentially ignored for 20 minutes, so we left and went to have a microwave dinner in our room and chill for the night. On day 2, we enjoyed a sleep-in and coffee and got ready to walk over to the buffet breakfast. Isn't the view from the outdoor restaurant seating area beautiful over the pool, the bushland and Bunker Bay Beach? Then we did a little full body workout at the very basic and simple hotel gym. We've always loved doing workouts when on holidays because it makes you feel so much better for the day, more energetic and in a better mood, and I think you have a better self-body image on the days you exercise too, which is always nice. I made up a little circuit which I did 3 rounds of. It consisted of 15 plie squats, 14 medicine ball thrusters, 12 knee push-ups, 12 single leg bridges on each leg, 12 commandos and 16 medicine ball Russian twists. Dangerous times, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Then we went exploring at Indijup Natural Spa. It was such a nice spot to just relax and hang out. We've actually never been here even though we've heard lots about it. It's funny how popular it has become over the last couple of years due to social media. Even the views from the car park area are stunning, aren't they? There is a bit of a walk to get to Indijup Natural Spa. It involves a bit of a trail and a bit of scrambling over rocks. As you walk down the trail, there's a lovely view of Indijup Beach on your left. When you get down closer to the ocean, there is a choice of going left to a little rock pool or right to a larger rock pool, which is the proper Indijup Natural Spa. We decided to go first to the left and check out the little sheltered rock pool. This was a really beautiful little spot. I loved visiting it. The water was crystal clear and it was a lot easier to access this water here and to paddle in the water here compared to Indijup Natural Spa because as you can see there's lots of sand, whereas Indijup Natural Spa is just rocks everywhere. This is not a spot I would personally want to take young kids to. It's hard to get here. You have to scramble over all the rocks, and then the 2 rock pools are not very safe for young kids in my opinion because you have to be constantly watching out for surges of waves which could knock the kids against rocks. So we next walked over to Indijup Natural Spa. It's a really beautiful spot, very popular. We enjoyed having a little swim and just watching the waves come and crash over the rocks, watching people swim. You do have to be careful to not get knocked against the rocks. You have to kind of awkwardly doggy paddle over the surface of the water to get around the rock pool when it's really bubbly because there's no visibility to see where the rocks are. That's Ryan there hanging onto the rock on the left of the rock pool. A huge wave is about to come right over the top and give him a big shower. Then we drove only a couple of minutes away to Swings and Roundabouts, a winery and restaurant, for some lunch. I would recommend if you come in the school holidays, you make a booking because they were super busy and we had to just walk around until we saw someone leave and could take their table. It was an absolutely beautiful venue. We'll definitely be back. It had 2 playgrounds. This was one for younger kids, and then there was a little ice cream shop in the middle, so cute. And then on the right of that was another large playground for older kids. We ordered a pizza with a gluten-free base and a green salad, and both were absolutely delicious. Next, we headed over to Eagle Bay Beach for the afternoon. This is one of our favourite beaches in the area. It's very, very long and very, very calm because it's such a big sheltered bay. The water is absolutely crystal clear. It's really beautiful. After Eagle Bay, we went back to our resort. We went down to relax by the pool. I grabbed a drink from the poolside bar and we both had a swim. It was pretty cold, but I forced myself to do it because I thought I've got to try out the pool at least once while staying here. Then we went to Bay Brewing Co in Dunsborough for dinner. The food was really good. That's probably the largest chicken parmigiana meal I've ever seen in my life, which Ryan had, and I had a really good steak. Good morning. We're at the buffet breakfast. Day 3, we enjoyed a sleep in again, and then we had the amazing breakfast buffet again, and then we went down to the pool for a swim and a relax, and then we checked out at 11. We decided to fill in the morning with a bit of a hike, so we drove to Castle Rock Beach and did a little walk that starts from there. This is another calm, beautiful beach to swim out on a day with good weather. So we are at Castle Rock Beach here, and we're going to walk along this trail probably to about Meelup Beach and then head back the same way. So we'll see if we can get to Meelup Beach, which is 1.2 kilometres, and then we'll come back. So 2.4 kilometre walk in total. We've done this walk a couple of times before and absolutely loved it. The scenery is absolutely stunning and picturesque. To Meelup Beach, check this out. It wasn't looking very beautiful today because of the overcast weather and a bit of seaweed around, but this is one of the most popular beaches around Dunsborough. Here's some photos from a much nicer day. And then of course we headed back the way we had come along the trail back to Castle Rock Beach car park. We're now heading to our last destination for our weekend away before we head home. We're going to the Goanna Bush Cafe. This is a cafe we've been to a long time ago, only once, so I'm excited to go back here again. We really loved it last time. The food was really delicious, tasty, good portions, and a bit different, and it's a beautiful bush setting. So we'll see you there. I absolutely love this cafe. It's such a beautiful setting with so much nature that you're surrounded by. There's also a little shop area so you can have a look at things while you're waiting for your food to come. It's a great spot to bring kids. There's lots of open space outside they can wander around in, And there's also something called a sculpture walk trail, which is very unique, so your kids could go on that while you're waiting for your food. And for real little kids, there's a little play area too. We shared the Indo fried rice because we were both still so full from our buffet breakfast. This dish was our foodie highlight from our whole trip. It was so delicious and unique, and we both agreed was the most delicious thing we had eaten the whole time we had been away. I can't wait to go back and order it again sometime soon. After lunch, it was time to hit the road back home to pick up our kids who had had a ball staying with their grandparents. We absolutely loved our stay at Pullman Bunker Bay. It gave us time to reconnect, relax, and enjoy a little romance away from the busyness of parenting. If you're thinking about treating yourself to a coastal getaway, I hope this helps you decide if this is the place for you. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more family and occasional couples travel inspiration, and let us know in the comments where you think we should go for our next mum and dad getaway.